That one was called More Coffee. Good morning and welcome to MessyMocha. I'm Teddy, and you're back here with me in the Bear Cave. So last night, if you joined me, you know we were on air until probably about 12:30 a.m. this morning. Yeah, so it was a very late night, and uh, but I'm here. And by the way, if there's an interruption and, I have to cut this short, it's because I'm expecting the workmen to arrive sometime this morning. And when they do, I will have to disconnect my internet. So I'm on for I don't know how long. So good morning to my other bears. I call the grizzlies and the honey bears. So I might seem a little in a rush because I am trying to get it all in. All right, so I hope you enjoyed last night. I did get a chance to listen this morning to the video, and you know what? I've made videos before, and that one was certainly different than I would say the majority, but it wasn't. It wasn't bad at all. in my opinion. I was it was pretty even all the way through. So let's get into this morning's news headlines and find out what's going on. Haven't done that in a while. So let's find out how we want to start our day. Why not start it with Trump's presidency or, some other things that are heating up? Let me see. So, House Speaker Mike Johnson formally unveiled plans over the weekend for a government funding stopgap through September 30th. I wonder, will that get passed? A measure intended to stave off a potential government shutdown ahead of Friday's deadlines. You know what? Every time I hear about these government shutdowns, the deadlines, I know it's going to get passed. At least that's what I think, is my immediate reaction. At the, 12th hour, 24th hour, 23rd, and whatever, it gets passed. And they're saying to buy time for President Donald Trump and the GOP leaders to steer key pieces of the president's agenda through Congress this summer. Okay. House Republican hopes to vote on the bill this week. Democratic leaders quickly slammed the door on supporting the measures, raising the specter of a high stakes clash this week. Well, since Donald Trump has taken office as our president, there has been a clash almost every day. The president has endorsed the measure. GOP leadership aides say that it would increase defense spending by about 6 billion, while domestic spending would drop by about 13 billion. Well, the defense budget is the largest portion of, I'm going to say, the US debt. That's where we spend the most money, and it appears that more is going to be spent. Well, what did he say? Make America safe again. It's, always make America something, make America this and that. So, spending for the defense of this country and for the freedoms that we enjoy here as Americans, um, I'm with, you know, keeping America safe. I think that the conversation has been with the Oversight Committee, yeah, if I'm thinking correctly, is there has been a lot of waste in the defense spending, and they haven't been able to balance their budget for some time. An example of that would be spending $1,000 on toilets. Have you heard? I mean, this was something so long ago. I remember talk of that. The defense, contracts. Okay. But it looks like there will be more spending. Okay. If Democrats block the measure, they will risk taking the blame for shutting down the government unless they can convince the public it's Trump's fault. If they allow the measure to pass, they could again look like they lack the strength and purpose to resist Trump's presidency. I think what they are realizing, and a lot of people, a lot of Americans are realizing, did the president have that much power? To sign executive orders. You see President Trump, he's doing it almost daily in the Oval Office, signing these executive uh, documents or these laws. And like that with the stroke of a pen or a marker. So, could the former president, Joe Biden, have just gone in to the Oval Office each day and signed an executive order and get it passed? I don't know. Um, Perhaps the next leader, when that person is identified for the Democratic Party, I don't see a leader that has come forth yet. No one has announced this is the person. Yeah, for the DNC, chair, but who is going to be that next person? Who's going to rise to the top and be thought of a leader well before the midterms, I will say. Yeah, who's going to be that someone? I don't know. All right, on to the next. Canada's next leader is Mark Carney, has been elected leader of Canada's Liberal Party in a months-long high-stakes race to replace Justin Trudeau. So he's out, and this new Mark Carney is in. While Carney will take over immediately as Liberal Party leader, Trudeau will remain as Canada's Prime Minister for an as yet undisclosed transitional period while his successor settles in. So when I say out, well, he's on his way out. Carney will be expected to lead the party into the next federal elections, where he is likely to face stiff competition from the Conservative Party, which is currently leading in the polls. President Trump has repeatedly blamed Canada for illegal immigration into the U.S. and threatened to turn Canada into a 51st state and impose steep tariffs on Canadian imports, which the White House says is necessary to stem the flow of fentanyl over its borders. So not only, Canada, Mexico, talk of fentanyl, talk of tariffs, talk of 51st state. Um, will that ever happen? Could that happen? I don't think it's going to happen. Not if this Mark Carney has anything to say about it. In his first remarks following the result of the vote, Carney referenced the tensions with U.S., saying his government would create new trading relationships with reliable trading partners. Is that a swipe at the U.S.? He also vowed to keep retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. until the Americans show us respect. So, tariffs, um, go both ways. Next, an important story has to do with a missing student. Authorities in the Dominican Republic are interviewing a young man believed to have been with a missing student from the University of Pittsburgh right before her disappearance in Punta Cana. A local police source told CNN, let's see if I can get this name correctly, Sadisha Kononki, or Kaneki, a 20-year-old U.S. resident, was last seen on a surveillance camera with 7 other people entering the beach at Riu Republica Hotel in Punta Cana after 4:15 a.m. All right, so mark that, last seen. Thursday, the Dominican National Police said in a statement, police said she arrived in the country on Monday with 5 other people. They learned of her disappearance after 8 a.m. Friday through a call from the U.S. Embassy in Santo Domingo. Authorities have interviewed the young man to determine what happened when the two were alone. Police are also questioning others last seen with Kananki on Thursday to establish where their search should be focused. Kananki's father, Sabaruyuda Kananki, told CNN that his daughter had gone to Punta Cana for spring break ahead of the pre-med studies at Pittsburgh. So it appears she was pre-med. My daughter's is a very nice girl. She's ambitious. She wanted to pursue a career in medicine. Hopefully, some clues will come about and police there will find this young woman, American woman. Syria and violence. Armed men loyal to the Syrian government carried out field executions and spoke of purifying the country, according to eyewitnesses and a video providing, well, I won't even describe it, but it has to do with a crackdown against the remnants of former Assad regime. Syria has seen the worst outbreak of violence since the ousting of former President Bashar al-Assad last late year. After armed men descended in the heartlands on Thursday in what Syrian authorities said was an attempt to put down an insurgency by rebels still loyal to the former government. So they are really cracking down on the past regime. I can't even describe this. It's too graphic. Syria's interim president, Ahmad al-Sharaa, on Sunday blamed the violence on the remnants of Assad's forces and said his government would hold accountable anyone involved in the deaths of civilians. Quoting, "We will not tolerate the remnants of Assad's forces," he said. "They have only one option: to surrender themselves to the law immediately." And then finally, another plane crash. It was a small plane that crashed into the parking lot of a retirement community in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, Sunday afternoon, injuring 5 people aboard and damaging around a dozen vehicles. Thankfully, no one at the retirement community that I read was hurt or even injuries. There was no structural damage to the Brethren Village retirement community building, and no one on the ground was injured. According to the Mannan Township Fire Police Chief. Videos on the scene showed the wreckage of the single-engine Beechcraft Bonanza plane engulfed in flames and dark smoke. The Federal Aviation Administration said it will investigate the crash, which comes after a devastating mid-air collision in January and a string of plane crashes across the country. The National Transportation Safety Board told CNN it is also opening an investigation and will evaluate the documentation and initial examination gathered by FAA investigators at the crash site. Okay. When I mentioned last night's phenomenon of one each day subscriber count going down, just one. Well, this morning I open up my studio page and alas, one more. After last night, I wouldn't be surprised. All right. We are 20 minutes into this live. And how about some music? Maybe a little laid back bossa nova. We haven't heard that kind of music on this channel in some time. So I will play it and then I will come right back. All right, so the long pauses, I was looking at some footage from a YouTube video and the story about Tony Braxton and others paying tribute to the late Angie Stone. I was also reading, there's an article that preceded it about Angie Stone tribute, 8 artists to honor the late soul songstress. Well, one of the videos that they put up in this article, and I'm just looking at it now, says video unavailable. This video is no longer available due to a copyright claim by Central City Productions. I wonder whose video. There are a number of content creators who are reporting on the death of Angie Stone. I did a tribute the first day. You know, it was music, and um, I read, some history about her bio and all of that, and played some of her music. All right. Um, but there are lots of videos that are being played out there. Footage from apparently production companies just like this one that must have, well, they did. They struck someone's video with the copyright. All right. I haven't watched the video featuring Tony Braxton in its entirety, but I did watch some of it. And she was not only giving a tribute to Angie Stone, uh, but a duet tribute, Tracy Braxton, her sister. Yeah, so it headlines here. This was someone called Broadcast Houston, a YouTuber who streamed an uncut, and it says this must have been, a live tribute, and I can see Tony Braxton performing. And then, of course, Tony Braxton and Trina, it's written in the, I guess, promo and the thumbnail, have an emotional breakdown. Yeah. It's still such a shock to many people, many people who loved Angie Stone, listened to her performances over the years. And there is now sort of a theory or mystery that's developing around her cause and the crash. I don't know. There's a lot of different stories out there. She had been speaking out about some, I'll just say, financial dealings, and then there's, conversation around other family members. I just do not know. What do you believe? What do you think? I mean, it has been barely a week, and a lot of content creators are reporting on it. So I just hope that her family and her loved ones that were close to her um, find comfort, solace in her life and legacy. All right. Is there anything else atop of this messy mocha? People know if I get stirred at down a pathway I could probably go for some time like I did last night. But this morning, I just simply wanted to come on and bring the five things, play a little music, and hope that everyone has a great start to their week on this Monday. It's March 10th. Yeah. Yeah, Vicky, there are so many rumors. It's like who do you listen to? Who do you um, follow, or who do you believe? I still don't know. Let's see if I can find something reliable. See if I can ask a just a question and then go to the reference. If you know, how many people, other people were in the vehicle that rolled over that left one deceased, which would be uh, Angie Stone. So let's see. I mean, there would have to be the driver and at least her. I don't know how many others were traveling in that vehicle. It's probably out there somewhere. Um, and I'm going to see if I can find something. And what caused this rollover at, after 4 a.m. in the morning? All right, Angie Stone was traveling in a Mercedes Benz Sprinter van. I've shown one that's similar to it, with 8 other people, making a total of 9 occupants in the vehicle at the time of the crash. That comes from Montgomery Advertiser, their website. Tragically, Angie Stone was the only fatality in the accident. The other 8 occupants were injured and transported to local hospitals. Also coming from AP News 8 days ago. AP News, Grammy nominated R&B singer Angie Stone dies in car crash. Page 6, Angie Stone's children speak out after singers tragically dies in car crash. Keep her legacy alive. That was 5 days ago. Page 6. People magazine, 5 days ago. Children of late Angie Stone thank fans for love and well wishes following her death in car crash. So there are, I'll say, some reliable sources. I consider AP News reliable. Yeah. Joanne said 8. Think 10. So I've read this morning 9. It's a miracle. I don't know the outcome of the others as far as their extent of injuries. If anyone had any serious injuries, if any remain hospitalized, I think we would know about that. But I just don't know. If there were any other family members in the vehicle, that would have probably been mentioned. If it was, I hadn't read or seen that, or even heard about it on someone else's, reporting or videos. Mhm. I know, Joanne, it was an accident. It was a tragic accident. That's all I've been thinking. It was, a vehicle accident. And something happened and she did not survive. I don't even know if an autopsy was performed or not. I hadn't read and hadn't looked for, you know, uh, any other reporting on this, incident. I'm sure there are. I don't know if there are any conclusions to, how it was ruled, other than and reported a vehicle accident. It did seem to involve another large vehicle, a big rig that would later come into contact with the vehicle after it had rolled over. That's my understanding. Yeah. Joanne says, I don't like how people are going with the conspiracy theories. Just before you said was an accident. I mean, there are even people out there, readers. Well, readers or people that do these card tarot, whatever it's called, tarot readers. That's what it's called. There are lots of them. You type in Angie Stone on YouTube, to see what the latest is. And amongst the YouTube videos are lots of tarot readers, men, women, young and old, all over. Yeah. Remember when tragically Princess Diana had, you know, died in that car accident, with the four were in the vehicle and one survived there in Paris. And immediately lots was going about the known paparazzi that had pursued Princess Diana for years and years. And because she was, you know, with someone, how do I say his name? He was from a very wealthy family. Let's see. He also died in the crash. In that fiery crash after they left the hotel. Hmm? Let's get his name correct. I wonder, did his father ever get that all settled? I'm waiting. Checking some sources here. And while I'm waiting and looking at the information, sorting through it. Does anyone remember his name? Oh, okay, so let's go on. It's not like the label owed, my apologies, owed her hundreds of millions upon millions. Let's be real. Mhm. Yes, the Middle Eastern guy, yes. Yeah, his father extremely rich and owned what was that London large store there in London. Oh, okay. So I'm looking this up. Okay, can't remember everything. I have it on the tip of my tongue. Yes, Dodi Fayed. Mm-hmm. Dodi, Dodi Fayed, Egyptian-born film magnate. She had a romance with him, and the two of them, along with someone else, died in that car crash. It was August 31st, 1997. And they were expected, I thought, to become, to get married. He was the son of a billionaire, Muhammad Al Fayed. Yeah. I know his father was very, if I can remember, thank you, suspicious of the circumstances surrounding the crash and that Diana, Princess Diana, was dating, this Egyptian man. It was a sad day, I remember. It left people all over the world in shock and disbelief. The mourning for Diana goes on to this day. Okay, thank you, Joanne. That would be yes. He was a Muslim, most importantly. And how would that affect her, two boys? Uh, if, she had survived, but she was divorced from Prince Charles, now King Charles, and, was free, but not free. Once a part of the royal family, especially if you bear an heir apparent to the throne, and she bore two sons, Prince William, who will be the next king, hmm God willing, if he should succeed his father, who has been, ill, and everybody knows he announced that he had some form of cancer. Uh, Prince Williams may assume the throne if Charles, King Charles decides to things, the situation with his health and, you know, the royal, I'll say powers that be. he could pass his crown to his son early before his passing. Yeah. He could bestow that on, you know, Prince William and Catherine, Princess Kate, and Princess, uh, not just Princess, but she's Queen Camilla. Yes, she was so honored before the Queen passed to let Charles know, King Charles know, that that title should be bestowed on Queen Camilla. Yeah. Mystery surrounding a lot of celebrity um, passing. Yeah. Circumstances. So it's not unlike um, something would follow, Angie Stone's death, all of these conspiracies and that. Okay, I didn't see your comment. Joanne says, a bunch of call me now tarot readers. Was there a run on tarot cards last week? In other words, did suddenly uh, people put out their shingles and self-appointed these new tarot readers? Yeah, tarot for 2 days. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but it's tragic. Yeah, it's tragic. Yeah. Anything else? Um, it's supposed to be a beautiful day here. We're getting warmer weather. That may just last for a few days. I don't know, but it's supposed to be in the 50s and like it was yesterday. I was out and, well, there are some people here in Michigan that you can see them even in the winter. I've mentioned this before. They will come out, run out in shorts and flip-flops to get gas or run to the grocery. Maybe it's because, they pull out of their garage, they can stay warm, and they quickly run. Yeah. What about Gene Hackman? Yes. As it turns out, it appears that his wife, and I'm not reading from, specific to name this form of illness that she had acquired, and it seemed, if I recall, there has to be something that involved even rodents transfer, so that she had was deceased at least a week before him, and she was young. She was in her 60s, and Gene Hackman was in his late 90s. And it's not known the extent of all of his illness. Was he suffering from, a form of Alzheimer or dementia, and may not have realized what, that his wife was even passed away. Yeah, and the dog, perhaps because of the length of time this one dog found you, all of that, uh, just, the end of life, how it all happened. They lived rather, secluded privacy and deep behind a gated community and their own private, gating. Not necessarily as a recluse, but just, very private. When, someone found them who should have access to the property. Yeah. I didn't realize he was that old, and he kind of had, gone out of the spotlight. He was a great actor, Academy Award winner multiple times. That's questionable. Joanne says, no offense, but did the wife traditionally eat rodent meat? I do not know. Is that fair to ask? It certainly could be asked. Or what would be considered. She had hantavirus that has been named, and getting how does someone become infected? Getting bitten or scratched by an infected rodent, or eating food contaminated with an infected, rodent droppings or that. So I don't know. And let's see, hantavirus include a group of viruses primarily carried by rodents that cause severe respiratory or renal diseases in humans. This said by a molecular virologist at the University of Queensland in Australia. Most hantaviruses that are found in North, Central, and South America can cause HPS, the condition that Hackman's wife was found to have, according to the CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So rare. Let's see if I can get back to my page. There we go. Another mystery. Is that what they are saying? Hantavirus. I haven't read more than them making that as a cause of death. But how she came in contact with it, what transpired, I'm not sure. Because there are many ways that it can, be transferred, through a rodent who is infected. Yeah. So I don't know. All right. We've been on just about an hour. Yeah. Let me check something. And I'll play this. Maybe it's jazz. Winter Days. right, so that will do it for me. Although, let me just say this. Last night, Darlene, my moderator, my first subscriber, and a grizzly, showed up last night late, almost that I could see because I wasn't looking at the chat always, so I might be corrected on this. Showed up rather late in my in the chat in the barricade. When I finally noticed her, it was toward the end of the broadcast, and it was rather late, and it was a pleasant surprise to see her there. Um, there was also I could have asked her. I should have typed in. I didn't think about it until this morning. Maybe I can. How did you why last night? I know you're always checking on us, you say, but what was it about last night? I would have asked her. If it felt like a reunion of sorts, and it was the kind of video that is one of those. I'll call it a rare one when I'm just not just talking, but kind of really laying a couple things out. uh, yeah, and there she is, appears. So yeah, hope you're doing well out there and dropping. Uh, we'll just say dropping breadcrumbs here and there. Okay. Baby Juju. Yes, it was Baby Juju. And first, that Darlene had, when we were discussing when I would, bring on another moderator, it had been quite some time. It had been over a year since I had brought on a new moderator, and that would have been in between the time after I returned. Gosh, it would have been like 22 through 23. Good portion of it, I think, before I'd even considered. And she made a suggestion, recommendation for my moderators that I have now. So Vicky and Baby Juju, and one by one brought them on. I was, and anyone should imagine, I was very tentative about um, bringing on any additional moderators. And so for a long time, I was just moderating my own channel. Yeah. Yeah. People can move on. I don't even never expected even Darlene to, stay around to moderate. It's up to the individual. But she was always around. Even when there were days when there were just the two of us. And yeah. So everybody knows that story that has been around. Yeah. So anyway, she stopped through. Yeah, we had some good times. We did. Yeah, we had some good times. We did. And along the way, I've been, I think, as far as moderators concerned, even some things, I'll just put it this way, even some things that have been said by past moderators I, I didn't make a big to do about it. Nah, people move on. Yeah, when it's time. Hmm. So I'm sure y'all noticed that, okay? But that will be the question. Darlene, were you in the bushes? And then you popped in? Or decided just to stroll on by at, midnight when we're on air live? Yeah, yeah. Glad you were there. All right. Anything else? I think I said goodbye. Did I say goodbye? I didn't. All right. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out. Once again, I hope you enjoy your Monday and join me sometime later when I come back. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Uh, Goodbye, everyone.